Yo guys, welcome to this little look recreation video. So I was just scouring YouTube for color grading videos and I came across Yuval Aloni, this guy whose grade for his talking headshot was really nice, and I thought that we would try to recreate it in this video. I'm going to leave a link to the video that he made and to his channel in the description. I'm not trying to obviously steal his look or anything, but I just want to use this as inspiration, so we're going to try and recreate that in this video. If you're first of all wondering how I'm able to wipe between these two images, if you click the three dots here, you can go to split screen, selected still images, and if you import a still into your gallery, you can click on the still and it will bring it up here. So you can have a side-by-side viewer, or you can click this to create a wipe, which is what we're going to be using to compare. So alright, let's start off by balancing our images, and a quick note on CSTs. I'm going from S-Log3 to DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Intermediate, and then DaVinci Intermediate to Rec 709. So just so you know, we're working in DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Intermediate as our working color space. You may have seen in a previous video that I like to use linear gamma for balancing. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I'm just going to go in the gain here, and I'm looking at my waveform to try and get neutral highlights more or less, and that's it. That's literally it, and we're done. So just by going to these individual sliders, and you can just pull them up and down and see what's too high and what's too low, and that's it. That's literally it for the balance node. Now we're going to do the contrast, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on my skin, which is going to lock the luminance of my skin, and it's going to allow us to change parts of the image around it. So if I go like this, for instance, you can see the luminance of my skin hasn't actually changed. So if you see where it is on the waveform as well, it's basically staying in the same position. And this is useful because if you really want to push your contrast, then you don't want to be decreasing or increasing the exposure of your skin too much. Like if you add a bunch of contrast and it looks great, but now your hero has now dropped half a stop or 2 stops in exposure, it's not going to look good at all. So I'm going to leave it right there, and let's get straight into the look. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to leave this somewhere around there, and I'm going to try and match the wall first of all. And the way that I'm going to be doing this is using the custom curve. So I'm going to expand this, and I'm going to break the chain. So if you click on this chain, you can change the gamma, which will affect everything, right? But if you break the chain, now you can go in the individual channels and affect red, green, and blue. So this is what we're going to be doing. And we want to create this split toning. So first of all, I'm going to go in my green, which is going to be the brightest color that we want. I'm going to lock this point in place because we only want to be affecting the highlights. So can you see in his image? Okay, my light has just died behind me, but I'm going to continue anyway because yeah, it's not the end of the world. Okay, like I was saying, we want to increase the green in this part of the image, right of this point, because it's only in the highlights that you've got this green, red, blue. And in the midtones, if I go on his skin, you can see that there's red and then green and then blue. So his skin, which is sitting in the midtones, is dominated by red, and then the highlights dominated by green. So that's what we want to create. And okay, let's bring up our curve, lock the point, and let's start to bring the green up a tiny bit. Okay. And now I'm going to go in blue. I'm going to lock this in position here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to start to pull this down. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in green, and I'm going to bring the green down a bit because this is separated a bit too much. You can see my image is a little bit more green. And I'm only looking at the waveform. I'm literally only looking at the waveform at the moment. I'm not paying attention to my image, I'm just looking at the split in color. So let's see what we've got. I mean, you can see we're we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. I think I might want to make this separation a little bit more subtle. So let's bring this down. Let's bring this up a tiny bit. And image wipe. Just take a look at this. Look at the difference that we've made. With literally a single node, we've not used any qualifiers, we've not been doing lift gamma gain, we've just been going into our curve, which has basically maintained the midtones and the shadows. Really, it's just really clean, right? Obviously his image is overall like quite a bit brighter. He's got more sort of just soft light everywhere in the room, whereas I have more directional light coming from this area. And there's a window on my right that you can see where that blue light is coming from. So we're not going for a one-to-one, but just to show you guys like how to match color perfectly using the scopes, because you don't like, the scopes are more accurate than your eye. That's the whole point. And the sooner that you get comfortable using scopes when you're color grading, the more refined that your workflow is going to be. Now, if I wanted to dial in my skin a little bit more, I could use a DCTL, which I'll leave. Well, basically his video was entirely about this DCTL that I'm about to use, so I highly recommend that you guys go and watch it, because he talks about what the DCTL actually does. But it's essentially like a hue versus hue thing that we've got going. So if I go red, it's going to increase the red in our reds, and if I increase the blue in red, it's going to take the red parts of our image and increase blue in that area. So I'm just gonna attack this like pretty heavy in all directions. Let's see what it's doing. So if you increase all of them, it's essentially like increasing the luminance, right? My skin is looking maybe a tiny bit too magenta, so if I increase blue, you'll see what happens. It's going to go more towards magenta and more towards orange when I decrease blue. So maybe we can just leave it there. And you can see, I mean, a little change goes quite a long way. So I think I might just leave it here. We've recreated this greenish look without affecting our skin, and that's really what I was going for. So yeah, I think I'll definitely do more look recreations like this, maybe from movies and stuff like that with more pushed looks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next one.